Hello, welcome to Should I Buy This Game featuring Maple Valley. My name is Christine, and in this video I'll give you a brief description on how the game is played and then share a few things I may like or dislike about the game to help you decide if you want to add Maple Valley to your collection. It's the first day of spring and the critters of Maple Valley are preparing for the annual Spring Festival. While the adults prepare the village, the local children are tasked with searching the woodlands for the ingredients needed to make a dazzling variety of party favors. Assemble your band of talented friends to travel along the different routes of Maple Valley, prepare a clever batch of favors that work well together, and make sure the festivities are ready to go by the time dusk arrives. So the first thing I'm going to talk about with the Maple Valley game is your friends. So this is you, your starter. And the starter, all of them, allow you to travel along the water, the rocks, and the forest paths. And every time you use your friend, you gain a curiosity, it is called. Then you also get a random friend to start. So this is the eastern red bat, and the bat likes to travel along the rocks. And then all the friends have a bonus. So this one is, instead of its normal rocks travel, you may spend a sun good to zoom to any unoccupied location. And the sun good is what is represented here, and that's helping you to see which round you're in. We'll talk about the suns a bit later, but that's what it's referring to as a sun good. And then it allows you to go anywhere. So I mean, this Eastern Red Bat is a pretty good card. And to get friends, you spend these resources, and these are what they refer to as curiosities. And at the end, it is worth 2 points, victory points at the end. But we're going to go down to the friend area. So you start the game here, and this is where you collect your friends. So the first thing I would do when I'm playing is collect a friend. And you start the game with one of each of the curiosities, a bug, a flower, and a pebble. So I would look to see what's available that I could get. And over here, there's the flying squirrel. And I'm like, I'm going to use my goods, my curiosities, and I'm going to get myself the flying squirrel. The thing you want to look at too is when you're picking a friend is you want a variety. He only goes along the rocks, he goes along the water trails, and they go along the forest. And you can see all the trails here. And you want to keep yourself with a variety of friends. So when you get somewhere, if you've taken the rock path to get here, you have the option to take either the water or that. You're not just having the same friends and having to go back and forth. If you want to keep moving up the board, you need to have friends that will take a variety of paths. Now, the other thing is, if say on a turn, one person gets a friend and somebody else doesn't, so by the end of the round, you have 3 friends versus 2, the people who don't have as many friends can get a dawdle card. It's a little snail, and all it does is get you some goods. But in the next round, because your friends determine how many turns you get in a round, you're at least able to get some extra goods and resources, but you won't be able to move your player along the board. So at least it's a way to even out if somebody gets more friends than somebody else. But if you want to move along the board, you want to get friends, and you want to make sure it's a variety of different path symbols. So now that we got our new friend, it is time to start collecting resources or foraging for goods. So we look at our favorite card here, and to make this card, I need an acorn, some clay, a leaf, and cattails. And I notice here that 2 of the items are right there ready to forage. So to get there, I need a water friend. And when I look at my friends, I'm the only one currently that can go on water. So I'm going to use this card. And so I can follow the water path. Now, I'm going to come here to stop to get the goods. However, when you're following a path, you can continue until the path ends. So I could go there, but you're not allowed to pick up the resources as you go. Wherever you stop, that's the only place. But I really want the resources, so I'm only going to go to the one part of the path. So to pick up the resources, it's a cattail and an acorn. So I'm going to grab that. However, the current sun is the cattails. And that means whenever I forage for cattails, I would get a second cattail. Now, if I only got 2 acorns and not one of each, because you're allowed 2 resources at each forage spot, then I wouldn't get the cattail. It's only if you forage the item that's on the sun that you get the bonus. So I will get myself another cattail. I'll put it on my board. And then, because of the card, I also gain a curiosity, so I'm going to get myself a pebble. I'll add it to my board. And then my turn is over, and my other friend would go next. So our friend went, and I just want to mention that once you use a card, it goes to sleep, and it goes onto your player board here, where it has the little moon, and that you can't use that card again for this round. So we're back to our card, and now we need clay and leaf. And so we look and we see that there's a clay here. It's a forest path, and we do have a forest person that can take us there. So we're going to use the flying squirrel, and we're going to follow the path. Now again, we want these goods, so we're going to stop here. However, because it's the forest, he could continue here and gather some stuff, or he could continue all the way up here. So it's up to you when you want to stop. But we want the goods, so we're going to stop. So I'm going to get 1 clay and 1 berry. Now, neither of these belong to the sun good, so I don't get doubles, but you always get 2 goods, and you have the choice. I could get 2 clay, I could get 2 berries, but I'm going to get 1 of each. And then that would be my turn. I'd look at my card, and it says, when your turn ends, draw a favor card if you crafted any favor cards. Well, we haven't crafted one yet. We're still trying to get the goods, so we won't be able to use that benefit at the moment. And so then he's going to go to sleep, and our friend is going to take their turn. Now, the last item we need is a leaf. And we have a rock friend. So if we look here on the path, they could follow the path here, and you can trade in the sun good, which is still the cattail, which we have an extra one of, and get a leaf. Or they can continue over here, and they get a honey and clay, which they might be able to use later, but not at the moment. Or, because of the card, it says, instead of its normal rock travel, you may spend the sun good, which is the cattail, to zoom to any unoccupied location. So they could spend that cattail, but come down here and either get 2 leaves or a berry and a leaf. So I think that's what we're going to do. So I have my extra cattail I'm going to give back. And I'm going to zoom down here. And I'm going to get actually 2 leaves while we're here. So now if we come over to our board, and then he goes to sleep. So if we come to our board, we needed 1 acorn, 1 clay, 1 leaf, and 1 cattail. And we've completed the costumes. So what we do is we return all these goods. Now you'll notice that the costumes is a paint symbol. So we can add one of our little tokens to one of the festivities. So here we have the ghost story. So you can see all the different festivities there are. So we can take a little token and say, we gave you costumes as part of your festivities. And we're trying to fill up some of these boards. And the costumes is now completed, and you have it in your inventory, and at the end of the game, you will gain 7 points. And then it has, if we're putting our little guy with this, you may then swap any 2 already placed in their slots. But we're the first one to place one, so we just will place that there. And that is how you complete one of your favors. So I just want to show you the rest of the board. So first off, if you're crossing over one of these, they're a little bonus tile. You would get the bonus, so in this case, a little bug, and then this would be removed from the board. And so it's only the first person to cross the path gets the bonus. Over here, you can get 2 maps and a favorite card that's face up. And what the maps do is it allows you an extra turn, not a turn in terms of a turn within the game, but it allows you an extra move at the beginning or end of your turn. So for example, you wanted to move up here, but you didn't have the rock friend, you had a forest friend. You can use your map to move the one spot and then continue moving with your forest friend. You can move all the way up to the very top if you wanted to with your forest friend. So the map just sort of breaks the gap or adds in the gap of where you need to be to take the move you really want to get. So that is what the benefits of the maps are, and you can get 2 maps if you come to this location. At this location, you can add one of your cubes to the festivities, you can get a favor card, and you can get a patch. The patches are over here, and they give you some benefits either during the game or points at the end of the game. You have to decide which benefits you more depending which how far into the game you are. Over here, we have little outposts. There's one on each side, and there's a variety of these cards, but you're basically trading goods. So if you really need, like earlier, we could have come here to trade the current sun good, which was the cattail, to get that leaf if we really needed to. Or here you can change 2 curiosities that are any 2 curiosities for the honey, or 2 of the same goods for 2 different goods. And each of these cards vary on what they will trade. If you land here, you get a favor card that's face up and one from the deck. And then finally up at this spot where we zoomed up, you get 3 of the sun goods. And so here we have the goods, but it's always whatever the current sun is. So after every round, when everybody's gone, you add a new sun good, or you add a new sun to the path. And once you have 5 suns, that's the last round. The game goes over 5 rounds. And so when it's talking about the sun goods, it's whatever the last sun is. So in this case, it's clay. You get 3 clay, and then you zoom all the way down to the bottom where you can make another friend. And as I mentioned, the more friends you have, the more turns you get in a round. And that's generally the board and how the game is played. So first off, I just want to mention that my version of the game is the Kickstarter edition. I was able to purchase it from my local retail store, luckily. And so it came with all these wooden goods, but the retail version, instead of having the wooden goods, you're going to get the punch out chipboard shapes. So just so you're not disappointed that you don't get wooden goods. However, I think you are able to purchase them separately if you really wanted them. And then the game trays comes with the Kickstarter edition, which I don't think will be in the retail version. So just so you're aware of that when you're wondering why your game doesn't have that. So overall, I really like this game. I think it's super cute. It's easy to learn, easy to teach, fun for lots of different ages. I play it solo a lot, and the only difference in the solo, when you play solo, is you don't play the festivity cards. I don't add tokens here. But otherwise, you just play as you would normally, collecting the goods and doing your favors and getting points. The other thing I want to add about the favors is when you're scoring, they have things. So if you've done the jug, you get 5 points. However, it's +2 if you also have a tambourine. If you have the tambourine, you get 4 points, but +2 if you also have the fiddle. So then if you have the fiddle, it's 7 points, +2 if you also have the jug. So if you get your cards in a certain way, you're able to really benefit by having certain sets or groups of cards. Now, some of the other cards, I'll just grab this one over here, is they have, if you make the snacks, you get +2 points for each set of little goods you have sitting on the cards at the end. And that's another way you can get different points. Now, I've played this a few times, And sometimes I've been able to do a pile of these cards, and then other times I only did about 5 or 6. So it depends on the cards you get, what you're able to accomplish. And then I think the only negative thing I would say about it, which was also a positive, is that if you're an experienced player, the game may be too simple for you. There might not be enough challenges. So it depends. If you're looking for that really challenging game, this isn't it. If you're looking for a really cute, low stress game, then you definitely want to check out Maple Valley. I think it's adorable, and I just love playing with all the components and the little animal cards and friends. So let me know in the comments if you've played Maple Valley, if you plan on playing Maple Valley, and what you think of the game.